All right, guys, here's our last part. This is your exit ticket for Student-Paced Learning Week 3 or number 3. So this is your turn to show me that you know how to go to the text and find answers. So let's look at what you need to do. So in your packet, you should have this paper. This should be the last paper in your packet. You have a passage here about Martin Luther King, and we have 4 questions. You're going to need to use your crayons. You're going to need red, purple, green, and orange. So Miss Esther's going to help you by reading the passage and then reading the questions, and then you need to get busy working. So let's get started. The passage is titled Martin Luther King Jr. I want you to follow along as I read. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is famous for being a peaceful civil rights leader. Civil rights are the basic opportunities that all people deserve. In January 1863, President Abraham Lincoln declared the end of slavery in the United States. When Martin Luther King Jr. was a little boy in Mississippi, over 60 years later, African Americans were treated much worse than white Americans, especially in the South. Black Americans had to go to separate schools, use separate restrooms, and even use separate water fountains. Restaurants or businesses could refuse to serve black customers or to hire them for jobs because of skin color. Even though Martin was free and not a slave, the law said it was acceptable for people to treat him unfairly based on the color of his skin. He didn't like this and wanted peaceful change. Martin led white and black people in peacefully protesting the unfair laws. Martin is most famous for his powerful speeches like the I Have a Dream speech in Washington, D.C. on August 28, 1963. Although he died in 1968 before much change occurred, King received the Nobel Peace Prize for his civil rights work. Okay, so you're going to use your crayons, okay? We're going to go back to the text, and you're going to find the sentence that answers this question. So with your red crayon, where did Martin Luther King Jr. grow up? Go back to the story, underline the sentence that answers that question. You can pause if you need to. Purple. Why were black people sometimes denied a job? That word denied means we're not able to work. Why were they denied a job? Let's go back to our text. Underline the sentence that tells us why were black people sometimes denied a job. You can pause if you need to. Green. How did King want people to protest? So when there was a protest, how did he want people to behave? So with your green crayon, let's go find that sentence. He tells us in there that he wanted people to protest, and he gives us a word that describes that. Pause if you need to. Last question. Using your orange. When was the I Have a Dream speech? When meaning a date. When meaning a date. With your orange crayon, go back to the text and find your answer. Okay, this is your exit ticket. You're going to place this in the all done section of your folder. Miss Esther will check it, and if you got them all right, you will be able to move forward on your next day. Now, you can read in your art bookshelf.